I wanted to take some time and record a couple videos to go over the Gophers RPO slant passing game against Indiana, and just point out some of the schemes that the Gophers are using, how defenses normally defend this, what compromises they can make to stop this play, and maybe take a look at why they don't make some of those compromises, why it's a tough play to defend. So this first play we're looking at is a 2nd and 3, so it's a running situation, and Indiana is effectively in cover 0 on this play. They're up defending the run, but on each of these two plays, I'm going to point out 3 different defenders. The defensive back who's lined up in man coverage on the player who gets the RPO slant pass. In this case, it's going to be thrown to the slot receiver. So the slot receiver is going to run on the play action fake and run a slant route. This defensive back is in man coverage. This outside linebacker and this safety we're going to take a look at. So there's generally 3 different ways to defend an RPO slant pass. The first is with the man defender who's on the ball. He can play tighter and he can jump and break up the pass on an RPO slant route. In general, you don't see this because if he's playing that tight and jumping the slant route, he's making himself susceptible to something like slant and go or anything a double move. So he generally stays back and will give up that slant if it's a good pass, and then make the tackle because he's the last line of defense against anything deep. So the second way defenses can defend an RPO slant is by cheating this outside linebacker out of the box. So either lining him up out of the box in this area to stop the slant, or on the snap of the ball, you can drop him into a zone to take away that slant. Generally, defenses don't do this because they want this outside linebacker defending the run. So he's got to be up in the box. Again, the Gophers are going to fake inside zone, or they'll run inside zone if they feel like they don't have this defender up in the box, and they're going to have numbers. So you don't generally see defenses taking this player out of run defense. In the Ohio State game a few weeks ago, that was the reason the Gophers kept coming back to RPO slant play after play, because they were having some success in the running game and Ohio State couldn't afford to take this linebacker out of the box. And then the safety on this play, it's 2nd and 3, so he's committed to the run, but that's another way the defenses can take away the RPO slant, is they have this safety come up and play tight on things like a slant route. Again, you don't generally see teams doing this because he's the last line of defense if he's playing pass coverage. So they're going to, again, give up something underneath and don't want to be susceptible to a double move. So we can see on this play how they play it. This is the play action, so they're faking inside zone. You can see that outside linebacker is committed to playing the run, as is the safety. So they've effectively taken themselves out of pass coverage. You can see the slot receiver is pressing his defensive back and is going to come inside on the slant. The safety is definitely not jumping any sort of short route, and so he's going to give up that pass underneath. And you can see the third frame, it's a nice route, it's a nice throw. He ends up hitting the pass for a first down. This safety ends up making a safe tackle. Had he jumped that and missed the tackle, it would have ended up being a touchdown or definitely an explosive gain. So as it is, the Gophers end up picking up a first down. Okay, the second play, also an RPO slant. I'm just going to point out a different way that this can be run and how defenses will defend this. This ends up being a slant to the receiver who's lined up halfway between the hash and the out of bounds line. He's going to run and get the RPO slant pass here and take it for a touchdown. Again, the 3 defenders, we have a man defensive back lined up on the receiver. We have the outside linebacker here. He's going to be occupied by this H-back who's split out in the slot, is going to run a drag route over the middle. These 2 linebackers, once it's passed, are going to just drop into a simple zone. And so being that this H-back comes into, he's the first passing threat in his zone, that he's going to occupy the linebacker and take him out of dropping in and defending this RPO slant in any way. And then this safety, you can see, is playing a little bit tighter. He's not as deep because they're in the red zone. And he does drop back, read the play, and when he sees it as slant, he tries to make a play, tackle for a catch and tackle, and ends up the wide receiver ends up breaking the tackle and going for a touchdown. So he makes a little bit of a gamble by trying to come up strong on this play. Okay, so in the second frame, you can see the H-back who is split out. Again, he's running a drag over the middle, which is going to occupy this linebacker and keep him from out of this zone to defend any sort of slant. You can see really nice job by the wide receiver to get this defensive back's hips turned with a nice little move here. So off the line, he stutters, might have faked a little bit outside to get him turned, and then he's going to come back hard inside on the slant. And the safety at this point is just reading the play, but you can see he's getting himself a free release on that slant underneath. And then you can see the next frame. Again, this is that outside linebacker that's occupied by the H-back who is split out. This is a defensive back who had his hips turned. Receiver was able to get a free release inside. And here's that safety coming up. The ball is being caught here, and he's trying to come up and make a tackle for a short gain. Something to point out here is that not all these RPO slant patterns are the exact same. You can see the wide receiver runs much shallower on this play because of the depth of the safety. Had he run just a standard RPO slant pattern, he would have run himself right into the safety and allowed the safety to make a pass breakup or make a play on the ball. So he does a really nice job getting himself a free release and then runs this much shallower so he can get in front of that safety and catch the pass. And in this case, a catch and run. So really nice job to break this route off, run it shallower underneath the safety, put himself in a spot that he's able to beat the defensive back inside, but also be underneath and for a nice catch against the safety. He's not able to make a play on the ball. And you can see in the next frame, he's caught the ball. That safety comes up again. He's trying to make a tackle for a 5-yard gain, puts himself out there. He's able to break the tackle, and now he's got a free lane on a catch and run here. Ends up scoring, getting to the end zone for a touchdown.